Hello everyone, today we're going to read a story. It's called It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown by Charles M. Schulz. And we're also going to draw a picture at the end inspired by this story, so I hope that you follow along and join me for drawing a picture at the end. So let's get started. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown was raking leaves. Lucy was holding a football, and Linus was inspecting the pumpkin patch. It could only mean one thing: Halloween is almost here. Back inside, Linus started writing his yearly letter to the Great Pumpkin. Dear Great Pumpkin, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. I hope you bring me lots of presents. Who are you writing to, Linus? Asked Charlie Brown. The Great Pumpkin, Linus replied. On Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through the air with his bag of toys for all the children. You must be crazy, Charlie Brown said. The rest of the Peanuts gang thought that Linus was crazy too. But Charlie Brown's little sister, Sally, was very interested in the Great Pumpkin and in Linus. Wouldn't you like to sit with me in the pumpkin patch on Halloween night and wait for the Great Pumpkin? Linus asked. Oh, I'd love to, Linus, replied Sally, batting her eyes. When the mail came, there was a surprise for Charlie Brown. I got an invitation to a Halloween party, he exclaimed. Is the invitation to Violet's party? Asked Lucy. If you got an invitation, it was a mistake. There were two lists, one to invite and one not to invite. Charlie Brown was embarrassed, but he decided to go to the Halloween party anyway. He could hardly wait. On Halloween night, Charlie Brown met up with his friends. Lucy wore a witch mask. Charlie Brown's ghost costume looked a little funny. It was covered in big black eye holes because he had gotten a little carried away with the scissors. Just then, Snoopy passed by wearing a long red scarf, goggles, and an aviator cap. It's a World War I flying ace, said Charlie Brown. Now I've heard everything, Lucy sighed. All right, everybody, let's go trick-or-treating and then to Violet's for the big party. But the World War I flying ace ignored her. He had to go on an important mission. The World War I flying ace climbed to the cockpit of his Sopwith Camel airplane. It was up to him to find the Red Baron and bring him down. He flew through the sky, firing at his targets. Suddenly, the Sopwith Camel was hit. The plane started smoking and spiraling through the air. It landed with a loud crash. Now, the World War I flying ace would have to continue his mission on foot. He crept through the French countryside, slinking through the bushes and wading through the lake. As kids passed the pumpkin patch, they saw Linus waiting for the Great Pumpkin. You blockhead, you're going to miss all the fun just like last year, Lucy groaned. Sally was torn. Should she go trick-or-treating or wait for the Great Pumpkin with Linus? Suddenly, she ran back to the pumpkin patch. I'm glad you came back, Sally, Linus said. Each year, the Great Pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that he thinks is the most sincere. At the first house they reached, everyone yelled, "Tricks or treats, money or eats." And then they compared their haul. "I've got 5 pieces of candy," yelled Lucy. "I got a chocolate bar," Violet cried. "I got a quarter," Patty said happily. Charlie Brown peered into his bag. "I got a rock." And that's what happened at every single house. While the rest of his friends got treats like candy bars, cookies, gum, and popcorn balls, Charlie Brown's bag filled up with rocks. Come on, let's get going, Lucy said in a bossy voice. It's time for the Halloween party. As the kids passed the pumpkin patch again, they laughed at Linus and Sally. "The great pumpkin will be here. Linus knows what he's talking about," hollered Sally. Then she turned to Linus. "All right, where is he?" "He'll be here," Linus promised. "I hope so," Sally replied grumpily. "Just think of all the fun we're missing." But at the Halloween party, Charlie Brown didn't think Sally and Linus were missing anything. The other kids wanted him to model for their jack-o'-lantern, so they drew a big pumpkin face on the back of his head. Then the kids bobbed for apples. But when Lucy nabbed an apple, she was disgusted to find a World War II flying ace on the other side of it. "My lips touched dog's lips," she howled. "Blah! Ugh!" The World War II flying ace was insulted. He slunk out the door to continue his mission. If anyone had told me that I'd be waiting in a pumpkin patch on Halloween night, I'd have said they were crazy, Sally grumbled. Then she and Linus heard a rustling noise. A dark figure appeared before them. "What's that?" Linus exclaimed. "It's the great pumpkin! He's rising up out of the pumpkin patch!" In all the excitement, Linus fainted. But it wasn't the great pumpkin at all. It was a World War I flying ace on his imaginary mission. "What happened? Did he leave us any toys?" Linus asked as he sat up. Sally was furious. "I was robbed!" she yelled. "Halloween is over, and I've missed it." She stormed out of the pumpkin patch, leaving Linus alone to wait for the great pumpkin. In the middle of the night, Lucy woke up and realized Linus was still waiting for the great pumpkin. She found him asleep, shivering under his blanket. Lucy brought her brother home and tucked him into bed. "Well, another Halloween has come and gone," Charlie Brown said the next day. "Don't take it too hard that the great pumpkin never showed up. Just wait till next year, Charlie Brown. I'll find a pumpkin patch that is real sincere. And I'll sit in that pumpkin patch until the great pumpkin appears," Linus exclaimed. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed reading that story with me. Now I'd like you to grab a paper and some stuff to color with. You can use colored markers, you can use pencils, crayons, whatever you have. And I want you to think about the great pumpkin and what you think the great pumpkin would look like coming out of the pumpkin patch. So I'm going to start with a dark orange marker. And I'm going to start out by drawing a big body. And then we've got a pumpkin head. So I'm going to start with an oval like a normal head. And I'm just going to add some different round sections, kind of like forward C's and backward C's, until we get kind of a pumpkin shape. So then let's draw some arms. And let's draw some funny legs. All right, I've got my silly little pumpkin body there. I'm gonna color in the pumpkin head with another color of orange. So this is a little bit lighter so you can see the other details I tried to make. I got a little crazy going out of lines there, but that's okay. And I'm gonna color his body this kind of dark yellow color. Now you can do something similar to what I'm doing, or you can make up something of your own. Okay, so pumpkins usually have a stem coming out of the top, so let's draw a stem. kind of like branches out into the pumpkin a little bit in some different directions. And I'm gonna give him a jack-o'-lantern face. So I'm gonna take a black marker, give him some triangle eyes, just like a jack-o'-lantern might have. Let's give him a big, funny smile. All right, what do you think of my pumpkin king? Let's draw a little pumpkin patch for him to rise out of. So we're just gonna add a couple of different size pumpkins here. They can be all different sizes and shapes. All right, I'm gonna color those in. Pumpkins don't have to be orange. Sometimes they're a little bit more yellow. You've got white pumpkins, light blue pumpkins, all sorts. Now, because these pumpkins, they're like little babies comparatively, they're still on the vine, I'm gonna use a green marker, the little vines coming off of them. I'm gonna pretend these are growing on similar vines. Let's draw some grass. Just doing lots of little blades of grass. I'm going to come in again. Maybe let's take another shade of green. I'm going to take like a lighter green and fill in that grass some more. Okay, so that is my great pumpkin rising out of the pumpkin patch. I hope you had fun reading the story and drawing with me, and we'll see you next time.